everyone, John Markey here, your Builder CPA, and today we're continuing our series covering the IRS Dirty Dozen. So for anyone who might not be aware, the IRS maintains a list of a dozen most common scams and threats, and it's something that we all need to be vigilant for. So if you haven't already, I highly encourage you to Google the IRS Dirty Dozen. And as with any IRS Google search, you should double check the URL to make sure that it ends in .gov so you know you are on the legitimate website. So today's threat is fake charities. Bogus charities are a perennial problem that can intensify whenever a crisis or natural disaster strikes. Scammers set up these fake organizations to take advantage of the public's generosity. They seek money and personal information, which can be used to further exploit victims through identity theft. Taxpayers who give money or goods to a charity might be able to claim a deduction on their federal tax return if they itemize deductions. But charitable donations only count if they go to a qualified tax-exempt organization recognized by the IRS. So unfortunately, this scam is nothing new, and I've done a lot of nonprofit work over the years. And it's always a gray area when you tell someone on behalf of a nonprofit that their donation is tax deductible. So the IRS maintains a search tool of 501c3 organizations. So if someone is asking you for money for their charity, you should be able to use the official IRS 501c3 search tool to make sure that you are donating to a legitimate cause. That organization should also be able to provide you with an EIN. You should be able to go onto a website like GuideStar and actually see financials for that organization. All too often, I see 501c3 organizations get their charitable status revoked, which means they can no longer accept tax deductible contributions. And a lot of them just continue operating under the premise that donations you make to their organization are tax deductible. The other thing is the way that the tax code has changed over the last number of years. We have fewer and fewer individuals taking advantage of itemized deductions. This is because the standard deduction was increased so much. So we're really in a position where you might not get any official benefit from your donation. With the One Big Beautiful Bill, I believe there is a standard amount that every individual can take as a charitable deduction, even if they take the standard deduction, but you'll want to consult with your tax professional just to double check that. Tax code can change at any time. But one thing that really stood out to me with the way this is written is they really highlight the fact that the perennial problem can intensify whenever a crisis or natural disaster strikes. And I find that extra interesting. Like they said, this is a perennial problem. There's all kinds of people who claim that their organization is tax deductible. Sometimes it's volunteers who don't even know any different. They're just doing what they were told. They came across the organization they're volunteering for, and the manager or whoever tells them to tell people that it's tax deductible. But really, that is a case-by-case individual basis. Your mileage may vary. But the fact that these scammers are preying on people during a crisis or natural disaster is extra bad. There's probably a special place in hell for those scammers to take advantage of people during a natural disaster. But I guess it just goes to show we all have to be vigilant, especially when disaster strikes. So as always, be on the lookout. Don't give to fake charities, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.